Hi, my name is Anastasia Sinarita Anabuchal. So I'm going to talk about our innovations product. So before that, I need to let you guys know something, which is our product is not something that are very familiar, that are very famous in this country, which is Malaysia. So we choose this product. Why? Because not everyone know about this product, and also not everyone know how to cook, and not everyone know how to eat this food. So we choose these traditional foods and we introduce to everyone. Why? Because we want everyone to learn how to eat other cultural foods, other traditional foods. Yeah. For, as we all know, for the Malay, they have their rendang, lemang, but for the Iban also, they are familiar with the panso and kasang and more. And for the Bidayo, they are also famous with their tempoyak and also lemang. But we want to introduce something that are very famous in most of the community that are eat this food. Not only for the Sarawakian, but also Sabahan eats this food, which is linut. So we create frozen instant linut Borneo so that we can introduce to our friends, to our relatives, to our lecturer, or others how to eat this food. And we want everyone to try something new, which is related to the others culture, others traditional food also. So this also can be found in the Sabah, Sarawak, Labuan, Brunei, and Indonesia. And also the name of linut also are not same for each country or each area. For the Sarawak, we call it as linut, but normally people will call it as linut. But for the Iban community, some are familiar with this name, which is mulong. So mulong in Iban also have two different meaning, which is mulong that are come from worms, and also this, which is linut. But for this Brunei, they have their own name, which is ambulong. Yeah. For the Sabah, they're famous with the name of ambuya. So before that, we need to know the raw material of this food, which is this, the linut flour known as lamanta. And it's come from the sago palm, and it's not easy how to make lamanta. Yeah. Why? Because different country they have their own belief, or not different country, different races have their own belief about this food. Because this food have many history that people still talk about it until today, especially for people that still live in the village or longhouse, because they really know about this food and they really know how to look what they want, especially for traditional food. So linut also a national dish for Brunei, which is Brunei, they name ambulong and they known it as must-have dish. Why? Because this is their traditional food also. But for this Sarawak, we have lots of different kinds of traditional foods. So we choose linut so that everyone love to try linut, because linut can be mixed with other dishes. So the name of ambulong is different on what language they are used and what kind of culture they are in now. So we create something new, which is instant linut, frozen instant linut Borneo. So people doesn't know how to cook this, they just put it on microwave within 10 to 15 minutes, and then they just get ready for the side dishes, which is we made the choices by choosing tempoyak, salted fish, sambal belacan. Why? For the tempoyak, this also one of the famous food in Malaysia. We want everyone to love tempoyak, but for people doesn't love the smell of durians, they can choose other dishes, which is we also includes others too, which is salted fish and sambal belacan. So why do we choose these three? Tempoyak have the flavor of sour flavor, and belacan also have the spicy, a little bit spicy and sweet, and also salty. For the salted fish, because salted fish also we know that it's really important part in this food. Why? Because the taste of linut are very tasteless. So we want something that are salty, that are can mix all the flavor with something like tempoyak and salted fish. It's a very great combinations of these two. So we make this process through boiling process, and then we put it on our freezer around one night, and then we can cook it. Either we are through the boiling process, which is we need to add some water, or we just put it on microwave, which is it just only around 50 minutes to make it as a linut. So the frozen linut, which is per serving, for the calories is 842 and fat is 4.8 gram. Protein per portion is 17 grams. Calcium is 124 mg. Cholesterol is 31 mg, and the iron is 1.62 mg. So why do we choose linut? Because linut also can replace rice. And okay, as we all know, linut has its own history, which is people on the old people on their era, they choose linut as a food that can replace rice, because people on that day, it's not easy to find money, it's not easy to earn money, even though they work hard. Yeah, so they found something which is can replace rice, which is linut, but it's also have the something that we can do cannot do during the process. How can we get the linut flour, which is lamanta, and also they have something that we cannot do and we can do during the process of cooking this food. So how can we, through all this problem, we solve it and make it as a frozen instant linut borneo? So we choose it as frozen so everyone can cook it, so everyone can enjoy without any concerns. How can they make the linut? So because linut, if we make it and we did it wrong on the first step, it will ruin the whole process. So sometimes it will affect the whole process and the linut doesn't successful and we cannot eat the linut. So we want something that are different, because we also introduce other foods instead of linut, which is tempoyak, that are famous in Malaysia. Ikan masin also famous during Second World War. Why? Because it was the cheapest food that they can find, because fish is the most easiest animals or any wildlife that they can looking for. So they make it as a salted fish, and also we choose a sambal belacan to make something that's really good, and we have that kind of flavor that we can feel, oh, this is our homemade linut. So we choose linut with also traditional side dishes, so that we can feel like we are at our hometown, for someone that are far from their home, so they can enjoy this food. So that's all for the introductions. Thank you. Hi, okay. So I'm going to talk about our problem statement or business issue. So we also face problem since day one. We choose this product as our innovations product. Why? Okay, first we need to know how can we achieve this product, how can we achieve this process, and also we need to know the actual problem that we face from now until the product success. So first of all, we need to know how can we use 4 P's of marketing. Before we do every business, we need to know what kind of marketing that we're going to use one day. Why do we think that marketing is the most important, right? Before we start business, we need to think how can we promote our product, and how can we achieve a product, and also where do we put the product, and we need to know what kind of promotion that we can use before we know the price, and also after we know the production cost, we need to know the actual price that we need to sell, so we also can get a profits from this product. And then we need to know the promotion, either it's give us more profits or not, right? And then place, we need to know, for example, we choose Kuching as our main target. Why? Because Kuching are not only know Iban people or Bidayo community, but in Kuching there are lots of religion and races. For example, Melayu, Melanau, Orang Ulu, Iban, Bidayo, Cina, and more that we never researched before. So we need to think about the marketing that we're going to use one day during the process of this product. Before that, before we launch a product, we need to introduce our product to the market or to our customer first. Why? we need to introduce our product so that they notice about our product in the first place. So if we fail at the first place, at least we can try other alternative, right? So next is, not only that, we prefer Linut, that without preservative. Why? Not everyone love that one. We need to know how can we overcome this one, right? We need to know and we need to know the production cost also, which is it's too expensive for us because Linut is a food that we all know. It's called as economy food. It's also categorized as economy foods. Why? Because Linut is the most cheapest food in Malaysia and also Brunei and Indonesia. So we want something that we really want to know. Why make this Linut as a frozen food? So frozen food also help us to make this product long lasting. So it's also can last until about 3 months or 6 months. So we need to freeze it and we need to put it so it's easy for us to introduce to the market, especially for the convenience store like 7-Eleven, right? And next is we need to know the problem that we face are second most important problem that we face since day one, which is raw material. Raw material is the most difficult part that we need to think. Why? We not only focus on the Linut, but we need to focus on the tempoyak, and also we need to focus on the salted fish, and we need to focus on the sambal belacan. Until when can we use this product, right? So we need to know a supplier that produce this raw material by themselves. So at first we found a supplier from Cebu, and they offer us around 3 ringgit and 20 cents, and then we think it's too expensive for us, especially it's just only a raw material for our product. And then we keep looking, we keep do our research, where does Linut famous at Sarawak? And then we found that Linut are famous at Muka. So we looking for a supplier from Muka by our relative, by our friends. So we found one that offer us 1 ringgit and 30 cents only. So it's a big difference from Cebu and Muka. So we can reduce our production cost also, and then it will affect the price, the selling price that we're going to sell to our customers one day. So raw material also, we need to know who's the supplier of tempoyak. So in the Kuching, because Kuching also famous by Bidayuh people, so it's easy for us because the village or their hometown are near to the city. So majority they and also tempoyak are their traditional foods. So it's easy for us to looking for a supplier. So we found one, and then we discuss, and they offer us. At first they offer us free, and then we need to pay some because this is will affect our business and their business also. So we add it to our production cost also. And then problem that are challenging, the most challenging during our process are how to make Linut in a easiest way. So as we all know, Linut are traditional food that are very have a lots of mysterious how to make it, and also it have its own history on how to make Linut. And then we find at first we only make a Linut that people that our customers still need to cook by themselves, and then they just instant on the side dishes. And then we need to think how can we achieve our instant name of instant food by introduce about our instant Linut Borneo, right? And then we found out a new solution, which is we make it a frozen food. So it helps us to make Linut in our easiest way, which is we need to put it in microwave around 15 minutes if we directly take it out from the freezer. So we need around 15 minutes to make it hot, and we can enjoy our food. But also we find a solutions that it's not only for a microwave, but it's also can be used in on the boiling process. So the boiling process also can help for someone that doesn't have a microwave at their home, because we also know not only the home housewife, not only for someone that have house but with their families, right? So we also focus on the student or someone that come to the Sarawak for studies or working. So we also know that they maybe rented the house and not all house have microwave, so we find solutions by using the boiling process. So last but not least, that we need to know our price of this product. Either the price suitable for everyone, either the price the most affordable for everyone, because our target markets are not only for student or working people, but we also want everyone to enjoy our food, because this is traditional food, right? So we want traditional food that will not affect everyone expenses, because this is a food that can replace rice. No matter what we eat, it's also can replace the rice. So this is the reason why linut can be introduced to this world, because all people found that linut are not expensive. It's the cheapest food for now. So this can help us. So we find a right supplier. So last but not least, that the problem that we face since day one are we need to know the right packaging for our product. So because we use frozen instant linut borneo, so we need to find something that can stay in the hot temperature, or we can use it on the microwave. So we keep do a research before we only want to use a paper cup, so that we can make it as a something like Maggie cup, but we found out it's only can stay around 2 minutes only on the medium temperature. And then I found that nowadays we have our new technologies, so they have produced a container that can stay at the hot temperature. So that's all for the problem statement that we have faced since day one. So we need to find out the solution so we can achieve this product successfully. So without the solutions, we can achieve this product. Why? This product is the most difficult part that we face. Because this product have its own mysterious and history and how to make it in a proper way. So that's all for the problem statement. Thank you. So next is I'm going to talk about our business objective. So our business objective is to achieve our innovations, because we want that traditional food that hard to find at the first place and hard to make, because the process, even we see it's too easy, if the water is too much, or either the flour is too little or too much, it will affect the whole process. So we want to complete everything in one packaging only. So this is our method that we have been tried. So we want to produce a product that comes along with the side dishes or side menu, which play the most important role for this food, because the side menu will give a great taste, because the perfect combinations that we choose for our product. So our team produce food that help others to cook with proper instructions, so they can cook by themselves and try to make linut by themselves, but we make it instantly. So they just put in the microwave in a little time. So our objective also, we want our customer to reduce the time by making a linut. So we change the method to just put in a microwave around 10 to 15 minutes only. It depends on how heats that we put. So for my recommendations, I suggest everyone use a medium temperature, so it's not too hot, not too cold. It's just suitable for the food. So we also will love to introduce our food to other country. For now, we target that we introduce our food to others country also.
And this innovation project also helps to find out how to make linut easy in an easy way, less than 30 minutes as we expect or so. So additionally, we modified everything from the linut to the side dishes menu because we want to achieve our objective, which are make linut in a easiest way, and we can really call it as our instant. So we can use the word of instant in a proper way so that we can get the instant name. So we make the frozen, and our customer just need to do a few steps on this. So in our objective, we change our tagline also, which is now everyone can cook. 2, now everyone can enjoy it. Why? Because we don't want that our customer will feel sad if the process by making linut fail. So we want our customer to enjoy the food with the side dishes that we provide. So because now all our product includes the side dishes that make it in an instant way, which is our linut need to defrost in the microwave less than 15 minutes only. So we achieve our objective because we want our customer to save and reduce the time to make a frozen instant linut Borneo. So next, I'm going to talk about our project justification. So here I'm going to talk about lemonta, salted fish, tempoyak, and sambal belacan powder. So in business, before we started or before we want to make a process of our business, we need to think. How can we make our customer to feel safe and confident to buy our food or our product, right? So here we have lementa. Lementa is our main ingredient. Lementa, linut flour, amboyak flour, and mulong flour is we name based on which area and country that we live in. So lementa comes from sago palm that not everyone know how to make, and not everyone has knowledge of how to make it as a clean flour. So as I'm still know that not everyone that's live in village or long house know how to make lementa. So lementa is, we need a lot of people to gather all the sago from the sago palms, and then they have a lot of process on how to find the sago palm, on how to find the good sago palm that we can use, that we can do as our sago flour. So many people thought that lementa was discovered during the Second World War. During the hardship of the Japanese occupations, many were forced to eat sago as a staple. However, sago was described as a Brunei food at least 800 years ago, and must have eaten in Brunei much earlier than that. So linut is one of the cheapest food, and that can replace rice, that we can mix with other foods, for example chicken, fish, and other meats. And also they can mix it with sambal or any kind of food that we have that we want. And then linut is popular in Borneo also, which is Sabah and Sarawak. This dish derived from the interior trunk of sago palm, and similar to tapioca starch. This food must-have dishes for the Melanau and Bidayo community and others. So in Sarawak, it's more famous among Bidayo in Melanau because lementa and linut is famous at Mukah. Mukah is majority of the community are by Melanau. So I'm going to talk about the nutritional content of lementa, which is for the calories is 842, fat is 4.8, gram, and for the protein is 70 gram, and the calcium is 124 gram, and the cholesterol is only at 31 mg, iron is 6.2 mg only. So next we are going to talk about sambal tempoyak. So let's guess, everyone loves sambal tempoyak, and then we all know that there are some kind of people that don't like to eat durian but they love tempoyak, right? So for me, I don't like to eat durian, but I love sambal tempoyak or any tempoyak that we can find. So our project may fermented durian as our main side dishes, which are ready to dip, and we make it in an instant way. And our tempoyak we can make in a two different way, which is we want dry or which want to dip to make it as a soup. So as a soup, we just need a liter, around 2 or 1 spoon to make it as a soup. But if we want more, to mix it with other foods also can. And then tempoyak or asam durian is a Malay condiments made from fermented durian. It is usually consumed by the ethnics of Malays in Maritime Southeast Malaysia, in Indonesia also, but in Sarawak, Malaysia, it was famous in the Badayoh community because tempoyak is their traditional food that must have dessert when they have any event, that they mostly have tempoyak in their house. So next is tempoyak can be mixed with everything, something like chicken, fish, and other meats, or any vegetable veggie that we want to mix and that we want to eat. So tempoyak is made by taking the flesh of durian and mixing it with some salt, and it depends on our taste, either we will like it's too salty or just a little bit salty of the taste of tempoyak. And we can keep it on the room temperature around a few days or 1 month and more. So it depends on how the strong that we like, strong and the taste that we like, because the longer that we keep it, the stronger the smell and the taste, which is it's more sour. And if you want to make it spicy, we also can make it in a earliest process. And then tempoyak, based on the history, tempoyak, like many fermented food from a food product in the region. So tempoyak was probably discovered exist production unintentionally from the excessive and consumed durian, and there's left fermented during the abundance of durian season in the region. Tempoyak was mentioned in Hikayat Abdullah as a staple food for the people of Terengganu. When Abdullah Qadir visited Terengganu around the year 1836, he said that one of the favorite food of the local resident is tempoyak. So nutrition's per serving. So I'm going to talk about the per serving. For the energy, it was 757.8, and the carbohydrate is 7.7 gram only. The protein is 1.7 gram, and the fat is 16 gram. So sugar is 4.5 gram, and the sodium is 959.3 mg. So next is we are going to talk about sambal belacan. Sambal belacan is everyone's favorite food. So sambal belacan is a must-have side dishes that we need to do. Why? Because sambal belacan is the most simple side dish that everyone can make, and our sambal belacan can eat in a dry way and a wet way by pouring a little water around one small spoon, and easy to make, a great combination with tempoyak and salted fish. So belacan has used variety of shrimp paste, which is prepared from small shrimp from their excess spices known as garagao in Malaysia and ribon in Indonesia. Normally, the krill are steamed first, after they will be mashed into a paste and stored for several months. So, but in the Iban community, it was famous in Bintulu. So in Sarawak, they will always call it as a belacan bintulu. So they will dry it, not put or not store it under room temperature, but they will dry under the sun. The process took about a few weeks only. It depends on the process that we have and the portions that we want to do. So the fermented shrimp are prepared, fried, and hard pressed into a cake or any shape that we want it look like. The sambal belacan powder can make a great taste with tempoyak because it tastes sweet and spicy, a little bit spicy, because we want our frozen instant linut does not taste so tasteless, and we add some flavor which is sweet and spicy. So I'm going to talk about the nutritional content per serving, which is 50 gram only. For the energy, it's worth 70. For the protein, it's only 14 gram, and the carbohydrate is 0.8 gram, and same goes to the fat, 0.8 gram only. So last but not least, the justifications product that I'm going to talk about, which is salted fish. This is our last side dishes that we make great combinations with tempoyak and belacan, sambal belacan, because linut is so tasteless, so salty taste will add some flavor of our frozen instant linut Borneo. This great combination also can be mixed with other flavor, like we choose all the side dishes, so it make more feel like homemade linut. So based on our history, how can salted fish can be found in this country? Local people can eat in future, because in older people in their early era, it's really hard to find money and earn some money, so they find food to feed the family, so know how to make salted fish. They found a new solution so they can use in the future, because salted fish can be last more than 6 months and more, which is they can eat as their daily menu. And also fish is easy to find either in river or seas. Both kinds of fish can be fermented anytime, and the ingredient is not expensive to buy, which is salt, and they only need to put the fermented fish under the sun for a few days only. So for the nutritions per serving, calories is 155, carbohydrate is 0, fat is 2 gram only, saturated fat 0, and the protein is 40 gram, and the cholesterol is 0. So this project is about interactive Malaysia cuisine, which is Malaysian instant linut Borneo, which can be combined with other dishes and make a new taste to intro our food to foreigner, people that never try this food, to people that far from home. So we make this so everyone can feel Sarawak feel like just their home. So we made instant linut and boyat as our innovations project and relate it to our course, because it helped us to learn more about the production is the creations of goods and services. It's also helped the a set of activities that creates value in the form of goods and services by transforming inputs into outputs. As well, we all know, by proceeding this idea, we all have to know the three major functions of organization, which is marketing, finance, and operations. We want to understand what operation manager do, and operation management is such costly part of any organizations. For this innovations project, we can help our customer to try these dishes with simple recipes and simple way, which is we just dip in our sauce, either we want it in soups or dry way. So they can choose which one that they want for our frozen instant linut borneo mix with. So that's all for the justifications. Thank you. Last but not least, I'm going to answer the questions that our supervisor give us. For my questions are: explain two opportunities to be planned for commercializations and upgrade the product quality. So my answers is: first is perform product and market testing. It is highly important to analyze and test your product prior launch. Changes that you will need to fix error, add features, and adjust the other functions that we can fix, so the product meets the needs and requirements of the consumer. You will need to test the product through beta testing, as well as test how consumer react to it via market testing. So next is beta testing will allow you to meet promised user experience and ensure a product components including quality performs as it initially intended. Product testing will also allow you to see how your product performs in the real world versus its perform in a controlled environment. You will test your product for usability, supports, and marketing, so you can measure customer validations and enhance your product quality accordingly. So next is productions and marketing plan. Describe how the product of your product process service will occur. Describe each step involved taking your product to the market to sell, which may include plans for licensing or internet sales. So by using 4 P's of marketing, which is product, place, promotions, and pricing, product should not be thing itself, rather the total package of benefits obtained by the customer. So after introducing a new product to markets, there should be process of product life cycle management, where the company continually tries to learn more about consumer from their reactions to the introduced product. So place is the marketing channel is the sets of networks from which a company takes their product to market with its customer for a variety of tasks. So next is promotions, determining the appropriate ways to communicate with customer to foster awareness, knowledge about its features, interest in purchasing, likelihood of trying the product, and repeat purchase. So last is pricing. The value of the product can come from the customer perception or the actual product. So that's all from me. Thank you.